Hi, my name is Chris, and today I want to talk about life tracking and making a little bit of more understanding in regards to how your life is going and how you are feeling. This is something that I've been doing for quite a while now, and first I was using a different service for this. Now I'm using a mixture of my bullet journal that I have right here, as well as an online way. Specifically, what am I talking about though? Basically, the whole concept of the idea is that every so often, and for me that is pretty much weekly on Sunday or Monday, I go through a questionnaire and I answer on a scale of 1 to 5 stars how my life is going. And the whole reason why I do this is not specifically to know at that moment or to look into the statistics every day and see where it's going, but actually just to actually see a bigger picture view once I have a certain amount of data to kind of look back and say, yeah, this was my year. So kind of like a review of the year, so to say. Now there's of course, there's a good reason to use something like a bullet journal for this. I have started to track some statistics in that for a monthly basis in terms of sleep, mood, and stress levels and stuff like that. However, I wanted to have something that I can easily work with and also throw into a Google Sheet, for example, to have that data visualized in that easy format. Sadly, I recently had to switch to a different provider for the form because I was no longer able to use Typeform, which now has a limit on the amount of data entries you can do as a free user. So I changed to Tripetto. But before I go into the details of how I am doing this and what you can do with this tool, let me just explain to you what I am tracking and why I think that matters. I personally call this the Ultimate Life Stats Review, and that is something that has a couple of different categories. The first one being physical power, world-class health and fitness, emotional power, unlimited juice and vitality is the second one. Then we have incredible relationships, passion and love, as well as abundance and financial freedom. The next one is my work is my hobby, amazing planning and consistent focus is the one after that. Extraordinarily family life is another one, and extraordinary friendships. The last ones are spirit and soul, and then we have unlimited life mastery. After that, I just have one last form, which is called comments, and that's just a kind of like a quick review of the week if I want to do that, or give a little bit of context of why certain rankings might be the way they are. The method that I was using before was able to track 1 to 10 stars. Right now with Tripetto, I'm only able to track between 1 and 5 stars. I requested if they add more in the future, but at this time it's not possible. However, I do think that that's kind of enough, even though it's not as granular as I would like it to be. However, the theme doesn't really change. You can track if you're just right in the middle, if you're feeling better or worse. It kind of depends, and you can make those decisions whether or not you are at the top or if there's something missing and you would like to improve. And with that data, you can actually assess how you're doing, what you want to work on, what you might want to change, or where you want to put a little more importance. For example, if you notice that a couple of weeks in a row, the family stuff is kind of low, so you might want to throw in a little bit of extra activity there to get that back up and running. Now let's jump over to the screen and I show you how I set up my Tripetto form and then how you can do that for yourself. And all of this is actually free, which is kind of mind-boggling. So now that we are on the screen, let's start with the form that I'm using for myself, and that is this one. I call it the Ultimate Life Stats Review, as I mentioned, and then I have these different categories down here. And what the nice thing is that I actually can just hit enter and I'm in the first one, and then I can just do the ratings based on the numbers on the keyboard. So however I want to do this. And once I'm at the last one, and the next one always gets checked for and automatically focused. Once I'm at the last one, you can see I'm automatically thrown into the comment area, and then I can click next and hit enter for completing this form. And once this is done, all that data is actually stored on the Tripetto server. With the previous implementation, I also was able to use that data and then throw it into a Google form right then and there into the Google Sheet where I can have that data and analyze it a little further. However, with Tripetto, I have not found a way to do this very easily, but you can actually just export that data. And since I'm not really looking at that information every so often, I'm just doing that every couple of months maybe, that is actually totally enough for me to be able to have that data available as an export, and then I can throw it into Google Sheet Sheets to further analyze that and just do the different things that I want to know about it. However, starting with Tripetto, this is the website from the creators. I'm not affiliated with these people. I just found this solution as an alternative to the one that I was using before. And you can just go on this website, sign up for yourself, and use it for free. You can also use the WordPress plugin, and there are certain aspects that then are paid features. However, they are really pretty advanced, I think. Now, looking over, once you created an account or go to the studio, which I think Tripetto for everyone, there you go, and then you can see you can do quite advanced stuff there. With that, you can start creating your own Tripetto forms, and the sign up is just based on an email address, which is quite cool as well. You just get a magic link and you click that and you're logged in automatically. And then you can see I have one form in one group, and you can create multiple groups for different purposes, but it's quite simple to just do that very easily. And then with this live review stats thing, you can see that we can go over there and just open that. And you can see here that it goes in from the top and then it goes through all these questions and then just completes at the end. You can also have all kinds of design settings in terms of the colors and all that stuff, but that's really just advancing everything. And what I simply did was I added my entries here with the little plus icon here, and then I chose that I want a type rating, and then with the rating I click that and I can say what I want to be doing there. I want text, description, image, help text, and so on, so that you can just have that. With these that I already have set up, you can see I have a text and it is a required item. When we close this, you can also see that there are a couple other settings available. I could have more information with every single one. However, I don't think that that's necessary for the purpose of just making a very simple questionnaire for self-tracking. At the top here, I have a statement, which is the Ultimate Life Stats Review opening. I just like to have that. And once you have all that done, you can simply just review it here and see whether or not you have set it up the right way. And then you can share it with a link that you can use to actually open that form very easily. Now there's also automation, and you have availability for email notifications, Slack notifications, and webhooks. And the great thing is that with email notifications, you can use the service to actually be notified whenever someone enters the form and sends it. And with the webhooks, it might actually be possible to combine that with something like Zapier or If This Then That to actually pull that data automatically into Google Sheets, but that's not something that I've done at this point. But this is quite nice and useful that you can actually send email notifications to yourself when you actually enter that information if you want to. And if you use this for different purposes, then that's super useful. The last thing is the results section, and then you can see that there are all these results in here, and then you can just download them as a CSV file. And once you have the CSV file, you can see that you have the date, you have the IP address, and then you have the ratings and your comment right there. And you can import that into something like Google Sheets and then analyze that data further. Like I said, the main thing for me is actually not necessarily the data that I collect, but the check-in with myself to actually look at the information and also look at the questions and ask myself, really, how am I doing with my ultimate life stats? How am I doing physically? How am I doing emotionally, spiritually, and all those things? And asking those questions on a regular basis is something that's a great check-in, and doing it because I also want to have that data at the end actually makes me want to keep track a little more and also check in a little more often. And having something like this form set up already in my to-do list, linking to this form is super easy and makes total sense for myself to just make this all a little faster and something that I can do in just 5 minutes. I'm really curious to hear from you if you use any tracking methods, whether online, app-based, or in a bullet journal, and what kind of values you track and what you derive from that information. I would really love to chat about those things in the comment section down below. And with all that, I'm just going to fill out my next form, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao!